Congratulations. Here you are, qualified to fly a wide-body aircraft carrying people safely across various parts of the world. I mean, can you believe it? You actually made it. All those years of studying, all those tests, God, so many tests, all those hours in the simulator where you're sweating through scenarios that you're like, please never let this happen in real life. And now you've got the uniform. The license is in your wallet. The responsibility is, well, it's on your shoulders now. Literally. But here's the thing, and nobody really tells you this part. Nobody sits you down and explains it. This job, it's not really about flying. I mean, yeah, obviously you fly, that's the whole point, but it's about living this life that most people will just never understand. And I don't mean that in like a cocky way. I just mean, how do you explain it to someone? Your life is split. That's the best word for it. Split between the ground and the sky, between here and there, between home and everywhere else. Your office is 7 miles above the earth, moving at 500 miles per hour, which is insane when you actually stop and think about it. And you say goodbye, man, you say goodbye so much more than you say hello. That's just how it is. So this is your life now, and it's beautiful. It really is. But it's also hard, really hard sometimes, and lonely. Like lonelier than you thought it would be. But also amazing? Like genuinely amazing. Sometimes all of those things happen in the same day. Same flight even. Let me walk you through what this actually looks like. Your days, your nights, your weeks, your years. Not the stuff you see in movies where everyone's cool and collected and the pilot's got it all figured out. Not just those Instagram-worthy sunrises at 38,000 feet. Though yeah, those happen and they're incredible. But the real stuff. The stuff nobody talks about. The waiting. Oh man, the waiting. The tiredness that it never really goes away. The hotel rooms that all look the same until you genuinely can't remember what city you're in. The moments when you're sitting there thinking, what am I even doing with my life? And then the moments, those perfect moments, when you remember exactly why you chose this. Welcome to your life as a long-haul pilot. It's gonna be a ride. Part 1, your life at the airport before sunrise. So your alarm goes off at 3:30 in the morning, and I'm not talking about like, oh, it's a little early. I mean, it's 3:30 a.m., it's dark, like properly dark, and the world is asleep. Everyone you know is asleep, but you're not part of that world right now. You're part of this weird early morning crew, these people who make the world move while everyone else is dreaming. You get dressed in the dark, trying not to wake anyone up, right? Your uniform is already laid out from the night before because you learned that lesson the hard way. White shirt, crisp and clean, or at least it was when you hung it up. Dark pants with that perfect crease down the front. The tie that you've tied probably 1,000 times at this point. You could do it with your eyes closed. Actually, some mornings you basically are doing it with your eyes closed. And those epaulets on your shoulders with the stripes that took you. God, years to earn. 4 stripes. Captain. But right now, at 3:30 in the morning, you just feel tired, Just really, really tired. The drive to the airport is this weird kind of quiet. Empty highways. Street lights making these patterns on your windshield. Just whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. You know this drive by heart. Every turn, every traffic light, every weird landmark that tells you you're getting closer. Like, there's that one gas station, and you're like, okay, 10 more minutes. And the airport looks different before sunrise. I mean, it really does. The parking lot is half empty, kind of eerie. The terminal lights are glowing this orange color in the darkness. You park in the crew lot, you've got your spot, or like your general area, and you grab your flight bag and your suitcase and you walk toward the crew entrance. Your ID badge is hanging around your neck. You've shown it so many times that the security guard just nods at you now. Doesn't even really look. You're furniture at this point. Inside, the airport is waking up. You can hear it. Cleaners are finishing their shifts, those floor buffers making that hum. Gate agents are starting theirs, looking just as tired as you feel. The smell of coffee comes from somewhere. You're not sure where yet, but you'll find it. You need it. You really need that coffee. You check your phone. Your first officer sent a message. See you at briefing. And the thing is, you've never flown with this person before, which is totally normal. Like, this happens all the time, but there's always this little moment of, you're going to spend the next 14 hours together in a cockpit that's smaller than most people's bathrooms. You hope there's someone who's easy to talk to, or at least, someone who's comfortable with silence, because sometimes that's better. This is how your day starts, in the dark, way before the world wakes up, and it feels normal now, even though it really, really shouldn't. Your life at a specific airline. So you work for a major airline now. Maybe it's the one you dreamed about when you were younger, like the one you had posters of or whatever. Or maybe, and this is more likely, it's just the one that called you back when you needed a job, when you were like, please, anyone, hire me. Either way, this is your company now. Their logo is on your uniform. Their rules are they're in your head, whether you want them there or not. Their planes are what you fly. Every airline is different, right? Some treat you like family. Some treat you like a number on a spreadsheet. Yours is somewhere in between. Most are. You have an employee number that you've memorized. It's weird, you can forget your own phone number sometimes, but that employee number, it's just there. And you have a seniority number that determines your entire life. Like, literally your entire life. Who flies where, who gets holidays off, who gets stuck with the midnight departures to places nobody wants to go. It's all about that number. That's it. That's the whole game. You know the chief pilots by name. You've met them at crew briefings or whatever. You know which supervisors are understanding, the ones who get it, and which ones follow every single rule to the letter, even the dumb ones, especially the dumb ones. You know which schedulers will help you swap a trip, and which ones will say no before you even finish asking. You learn these things fast. The company sends you emails every single day. I mean every day. New procedures, updated weather minimums, changes to the employee handbook that nobody reads, reminders about training that's due. Sometimes you read them, sometimes you mark them as read and hope nothing important was buried in paragraph 7, which is dangerous, probably, but also there are so many emails. You have a uniform allowance every year. You spend it on new shirts because the old ones are starting to look yellow under the arms, no matter how much you wash them. It's just what happens. You buy new shoes because the ones you have are literally falling apart from all the walking through terminals. Miles and miles through terminals. Your company is not perfect, but it's yours, you know? You complain about it like everyone else. The pay could be better, it could always be better. The schedules could be more predictable. God, could they be more predictable? The hotels could be nicer, but here's the thing. When someone outside the industry says something negative about your airline, you defend it, even if you were just complaining about the exact same thing 5 minutes ago. Because it's family, even when family frustrates you, especially when family frustrates you. This airline is part of your identity now. When people ask where you work, you tell them with this mix of pride and exhaustion, because you love it and you're so tired of it at the exact same time, which is a weird feeling, but that's the job. Your life between goodbyes and takeoffs. Okay, so here's the thing. The hardest part of this job isn't the flying. It's not the weather or the systems or the long hours. It's the leaving. It's the goodbyes. Every single time. You kiss your partner goodbye, or you hug your kids, and they're still half asleep usually. They don't fully process that you're leaving. Or you wave to your parents, or you text your friends like, I'll see you next week. And you mean it, but also next week feels so far away. And every single time, there's this little moment where you're like, am I missing something important? Am I missing too much? I'll be back Thursday, you say, but Thursday feels far away, especially when it's only Monday morning. That's 3 whole days. 3 days of their lives happening without you. Your family has learned to live around your schedule, they've had to. Dinner plans are always tentative, always maybe or probably or if you're here. Birthday parties happen when you're available, not necessarily on the actual birthday, which is sad, honestly. Holidays are negotiated months in advance based on what trips you can trade or drop, and even then it's not guaranteed. Sometimes people don't understand. They really don't. Friends invite you to a wedding. Sorry, I'm flying that weekend. And they look at you like you chose to miss it. Like you could just call in sick. They don't understand that calling in sick means another pilot has to cover your trip. That it affects hundreds of passengers. That your job isn't the kind of job you just skip. You can't just skip it, so you miss things. You miss a lot of things. First steps, God, that one hurt. School plays, anniversary dinners, funerals, which is awful because you can't even say goodbye properly. Sunday morning pancakes, movie nights, the everyday stuff that makes life feel like, life. But then you come home, and there's someone waiting, and they ask about your trip, and you tell them about Singapore, or Dubai, or London, or Tokyo, and their eyes light up because you're talking about these places like they're just Tuesday. And you realize that you're living a life that most people only read about, that most people dream about. The goodbyes hurt, they really do, but the hellos make it worth it. Most days, anyway. Most days. Your life inside the crew lounge. The crew lounge is it's like your second living room, except way less comfortable. Every major airport has one. Some are nice, actually nice, with decent chairs and good coffee. Some are just a room with chairs and bad coffee. Really, really bad coffee. But they're all the same in one important way. They're full of people who get it. People who understand. You walk in and scan your badge. Beep. The person at the desk doesn't even look up. You've been here 100 times. Maybe 1,000 times. You know where everything is. Coffee machine in the corner, usually empty except for the decaf that nobody wants. Who drinks decaf when you're about to fly for 14 hours? Refrigerator with lunches that people left days ago and forgot about. You don't open it. You learned that lesson. Microwave that smells like someone's burned popcorn probably last week. Chairs that are supposed to be comfortable but aren't, not really. There are other pilots here. Some, hey, how's it going? Some you recognize but can't remember their names, which is awkward. Some are completely new to you. Everyone's in uniform. Everyone looks either tired or caffeinated or both. Everyone's either arriving or about to leave. Nobody's here because they want to be. They're here because this is part of the routine, part of the job. You pour yourself some coffee. It tastes like hot brown water, but it's caffeine, so you drink it anyway. You sit down in one of those not quite comfortable chairs and pull out your tablet. Flight plan to review. Weather to check, and you're really checking it, not just glancing, because weather can change everything. Notams to read, all these notices about runways that are closed, navigation aids that aren't working, things you need to know before you take a plane full of people across an ocean. A captain you flew with last month walks by. Hey, how's it going? Good. You? Same old, You chat for 2 minutes about nothing. The weather. Always the weather. The new contract negotiations. How the coffee is terrible. Has it always been this terrible? Then they leave for their gate, and you go back to your tablet. This is your routine. This is where you prepare. This is where you transition from being a person to being a pilot. When you walk out of this lounge, you're on, You're on duty. You're responsible. You're the one who has to make every decision correctly. No pressure. But for now, you're just sitting in an uncomfortable chair, drinking bad coffee, trying to wake up enough to do your job safely. Just another day. You're life packing and repacking the same bag. Your suitcase sits by the door. It's always there, always packed, always ready, always waiting, like a loyal dog. You've become an expert at this, like an actual expert. You know exactly what you need for a 3-day trip. 2 extra uniforms in case something spills, and something always spills eventually. Enough socks and underwear for 4 days instead of 3 because delays happen. They just do. Toiletries in a clear bag because airport security, obviously. Chargers for every device you own, and you still somehow forget one sometimes. Snacks because airport food is expensive and airplane food is questionable at best. A book you probably won't read. Headphones you'll definitely use. Can't survive without those. You pack the same things every time, but somehow it still takes thought. Do you need the heavy jacket? What's the weather in Amsterdam this time of year? You check your phone. 50 degrees and rainy. Of course it's rainy. Will the hotel have a gym? Should you pack workout clothes? Will you actually use them, or will you be too tired? The answer, and you know this, you always know this, the answer is you'll be too tired. But you pack them anyway, because maybe this time will be different. Maybe this time you'll have energy. You won't. Your family knows not to borrow anything from your travel bag. That's sacred space. That's pilot stuff. Everything in there has a purpose. Everything has its exact place. If something's missing, you'll notice at 30,000 feet when it's way, way too late to do anything about it. And then you'll be annoyed for the entire flight. You unpack when you get home. Dirty uniform goes straight to the laundry. Straight there, don't pass, go. You pull out anything you didn't use. Why did you bring 3 books? You add anything you wished you had. Mental note, more snacks next time. You restock your toiletries. You check that you have everything. And then you pack it all again because your next trip is in 2 days. So what's even the point of fully unpacking? Your bag has been to more countries than most people will visit in their entire lifetime. It's scratched and worn, and the wheels squeak. They really squeak. It's embarrassing in quiet hotel hallways. You've thought about replacing it, getting something new and fresh. But it works. It fits in every overhead bin. It's the perfect size, so you keep using it. You and this bag, you've been through stuff together. This bag is your constant companion, your most reliable co-worker, the thing that goes everywhere you go. And honestly, you've developed a weird attachment to it. Like you'd be genuinely sad if you lost it. Which is weird, right? It's just a suitcase, but it's your suitcase. Your life during the layover commute. You land in Frankfurt at 6 a.m. local time, but your body thinks it's midnight. Your brain is complete fog. Your eyes are burning, like actually burning. You want sleep more than anything, more than food, more than water, just sleep. But first, you have to get to the hotel. First, there's this whole thing. You walk through the terminal with your crew. Everyone's pulling suitcases, that rumble of wheels on tile. Everyone's wearing sunglasses even though you're indoors, because the lights are just too bright. They're attacking your eyeballs. Nobody's talking much. You're all too tired for conversation. Maybe a grunt here and there. Immigration takes forever. It always takes forever. The officer looks at your passport, looks at you, looks at your passport again, like he's never seen a pilot before. Stamp. Finally, you've been through this airport 50 times, but they always look at you like you might be smuggling something. Baggage claim. Your suitcase comes out. The first officer's doesn't. So you wait. 15 minutes. 20. You're just standing there staring at the carousel, watching the same 3 bags go around and around. Finally, it appears. Now you can go. You head to the crew transportation meeting point. That's what they call it. the meeting point. There's a bus waiting, or a van. Depends on how many crew members there are. You load your bags. They go in the back with a thud. You climb in. You immediately close your eyes. The drive to the hotel takes 30 minutes. You watch the city go by through half-closed eyes. Buildings you've seen before but couldn't describe if someone asked. You've been here a dozen times, but you don't really know this city at all. Streets with names you can't pronounce. Signs in German that you don't understand. A city you visited but never really visited, you know? The driver tries to make conversation. He's a nice guy, probably does this every day. First time in Frankfurt? Number. Like, definitely no. How long is your layover? 24 hours. Oh, plenty of time to see the city. You smile politely. You give him the smile. But you're not seeing the city. You'll see the hotel room. Maybe the hotel restaurant if you're feeling ambitious. And then the airport again. That's it. That's the Frankfurt experience. You arrive. You drag your bag through the lobby. It's fancy. This hotel is actually nice. You check in. The hotel staff recognizes the airline uniform. They see pilots every day. They have rooms ready. They've done this thousands of times. You get your room key. It's a little paper folder with a card inside. You find the elevator. You find your room. Finally, you made it. Now you can sleep. But first, you have to shower. Because even though you're exhausted, like genuinely, deeply exhausted, you've been wearing this uniform for 16 hours, and you feel gross. You feel disgusting. So shower first, then sleep. That's the rule. Your life on standby, waiting for the call. Some days you're not assigned a flight. You're on standby, or reserve, or on call. Whatever your airline calls it, it means the same thing. You might fly, you might not, but you have to be ready. You have to be ready to go right now. So you stay home, but you can't really relax. You can't actually do anything, because your phone might ring, and when it does, if it does, you have to be at the airport within 2 hours, fully ready to fly, uniform on, bag packed, mind prepared, body ready. 2 hours. So you wait. You can't start a movie because you might have to leave halfway through, right at the good part. You can't make plans with friends because you might have to cancel. You can't have a beer because you have to be fit for duty, and fit for duty means completely sober. You're stuck in limbo, not working, but not free, just waiting. You watch your phone like it's going to bite you. You check the airline app every hour, obsessively. Are there delays? Are there cancellations? Are there sick calls? Each one means there's a higher chance you'll get used. Each one means your phone might ring. Sometimes the call comes. Ring. You look at the caller ID. It's crew scheduling. Your heart sinks a little. We need you for the Tokyo flight. Departure in 4 hours. 4 hours. Okay. You weren't mentally prepared to work today. You thought you had the day off. But you say yes, because that's the job. That's what standby means. You shower fast, like really fast. You double check your bag, even though you know it's packed because it's always packed. You kiss whoever's home goodbye. I thought you had the day off, they say. Me too, you answer. Because what else can you say? And sometimes, this is the worst part, sometimes the call never comes. You waste a whole day waiting for nothing. Just sitting there, waiting, watching your phone. The day ends, the evening comes. You get a text. You're released from standby. You're free. But you're also frustrated, kind of angry even. You could have done something, seen someone, gone somewhere, but instead you just waited. That's standby. Boring, frustrating, necessary, part of the job you signed up for but didn't really understand until you lived it. Until you wasted your first entire Saturday staring at your phone. Your life checking in to another hotel. You've stayed in hundreds of hotels, maybe thousands if you've been doing this long enough. After a while, they all blur together. They really do. They become this generic concept of hotel rather than individual places. The lobby is always different, but always the same. You know what I mean? There's a front desk. There are chairs nobody sits in. Like, why are they even there? There's art on the walls that's supposed to be interesting, but isn't. Abstract stuff that means nothing. There's a smell. Not bad, not good. Just hotel. That weird hotel smell that's like cleaning supplies and air conditioning and other people's lives. Checking in. I'm with the airline crew, you say. The desk clerk nods. They've seen 50 pilots this week. They're not impressed. They pull up your reservation on the computer. Tap, tap, tap. Room 847. Breakfast is from 6 to 10. Here's your key. You take the key card. It's in a little paper folder. You find the elevator. You ride up with other crew members. The flight attendants are chatting, laughing about something. They have energy somehow. You're too tired to talk. Too tired to even ask what's funny. Your room is on the 8th floor. You walk down a hallway that looks exactly like every hotel hallway you've ever seen. Patterned carpet, always patterned, always vaguely ugly. Numbered doors, ice machine humming somewhere, that constant hum. The emergency exit sign glowing green. You unlock your door. The room is dark. You flip the light switch. There's a bed. There's a desk. There's a TV you won't watch. There's a bathroom. There's a window with curtains that are already closed. There's a thermostat that never works right. It's always too hot or too cold. Never just right. There's a notepad you'll never use. Little complimentary pens that don't write well. You put your suitcase on the luggage rack. You hang your uniform in the closet, careful with it, keep it nice. You check the alarm clock to make sure it works. You set multiple alarms on your phone just in case, because you don't trust the hotel alarm. You learned that lesson the hard way. This is your home for the next 24 hours. It's temporary. It's not yours. Nothing here is yours. But it's clean and quiet and has a bed. That's all you really need, honestly. You're too tired to unpack properly. You'll just live out of your suitcase. You always do. Why bother unpacking when you're leaving tomorrow anyway? Part 2. Your life. Dealing with responsibility. Every time you sit in the captain's seat, every single time, you're responsible for lives. Not just your own life, hundreds of them. Like actual human lives. 300 passengers. Maybe more depending on the aircraft. Every single one of them trusts you. They bought a ticket. They showed up at the airport. They walked onto your plane. They sat down. They buckled their seatbelts. And they put their lives in your hands without ever meeting you. Without knowing you. They just trust. They're back there reading magazines, watching movies, sleeping, talking to the person next to them, complaining about legroom. They have no idea what you're doing up front. They don't know that you're calculating fuel, double-checking weather, reviewing alternate airports in case something goes wrong. They just assume everything will be fine, and you have to make sure it is. Then there's your crew, the first officer sitting next to you, the flight attendants in the cabin. They're professionals too, they're trained too, but you're the captain. The final decision is always yours. Always. If something goes wrong, if an engine fails, if weather gets bad, if someone gets sick, if literally anything happens, everyone looks to you. What do we do? Where do we go? Are we safe? Tell us we're safe. You can't show doubt, even when you feel it. Even when your heart is racing and your mind is cycling through worst-case scenarios like a broken record. You have to sound calm. You have to sound certain. Because if you panic, everyone panics. If your voice shakes, theirs will too. Most flights are routine, like most of them. Nothing goes wrong. You take off, you fly, you land. Easy. Boring even. But every flight, every single one, has that possibility. That chance that something could happen, and you carry that weight every time you sign for an aircraft. Every time you push back from the gate, it's heavy. Some days heavier than others. Some days you feel it more. But you carry it because you have to. Because that's what it means to be a captain. That's what it means to wear the stripes. Finding focus through fatigue. You're tired. You're always tired. Like always. Even when you sleep, and you do sleep sometimes, it's not the right kind of sleep. You're in a different time zone. Your body doesn't know what time it is. Your brain is trying to rest, but your internal clock is screaming that it's the middle of the day, or the middle of the night, or something. It doesn't know either. You wake up feeling like you didn't sleep at all, like you just laid there for 6 hours with your eyes closed. But you have a flight in 3 hours. So you shower, you drink coffee, lots of coffee. You put on your uniform, and you force your brain to focus. You make it work. The walk-around check. You're out there inspecting the aircraft, looking at the tires, the wings, the engines, all of it. Your eyes are heavy. They want to close so bad, but you have to see everything. You have to notice if something is wrong. A leak, a crack, a panel that's not secure. Miss something here, and it could be a problem at 35,000 feet. So you look. You really look. The briefing. You sit with your first officer. You review the flight plan. You talk about weather. There's always weather to talk about. You discuss what you'll do if something goes wrong. Your brain is foggy, like you're thinking through cotton, but you can't show it. You have to be sharp, or at least pretend to be. The flight itself, hours in the cockpit, monitoring systems, watching gauges, talking to air traffic control, making decisions. Your eyes want to close, but they can't. Not now. Not when people are depending on you. Not when you're literally flying a plane. You develop tricks, little survival techniques. You drink water constantly, like constantly. You stand up and stretch when you can just to get blood moving. You talk to your first officer about anything, literally anything, just to keep your mind active. Sports, weather, that weird passenger in row 23. Doesn't matter. You chew gum, you splash cold water on your face during breaks. You do whatever it takes. Some days are harder than others. Some days you feel okay. Not great, but okay. Some days you feel like you're underwater, moving in slow motion, everything taking twice as much effort as it should, but you do it. You push through. Because the flight doesn't care if you're tired. The airplane doesn't care. The passengers don't know, and your job is to fly them safely, no matter how you feel, no matter how heavy your eyes are, no matter how much your brain is begging for rest. Focus through fatigue. That's the skill nobody teaches you in flight school, but everyone learns eventually. Everyone who makes it, anyway. Learning to calm your own mind. Flying is mental, like more than physical, more than anything else. It's about keeping your mind right, keeping it together up here. There are moments when things get intense, a system fails, weather turns bad, like really bad. Air traffic control changes your clearance at the last second. You're tired, you're stressed, you're second-guessing yourself, wondering if you made the right call. And you have to stay calm. You have to. You learn techniques over time. Breathing, for one. Deep breath in through your nose, slow breath out through your mouth. It sounds simple. It sounds like something from a yoga class that your partner dragged you to once. But it works. It actually works. It slows your heart rate. It clears your mind. It gives you that 1 second you need to think clearly instead of just reacting. You learn to prioritize. What needs attention right now? Like, right now? What can wait 5 minutes? What's just noise that you can ignore? Because in a crisis, everything feels urgent. But not everything actually is. You learn to communicate. Tell your first officer what you're thinking. Say your decisions out loud. We're going to divert to Chicago. I'm declaring a fuel emergency. Let's run the checklist. Saying it makes it real, makes it manageable, makes it less scary somehow. You learn that it's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to have that moment of, oh God, what's happening? But you can't stay there. You have to work through it. You have to move from this is scary to this is the plan. Some pilots use mantras, little phrases they repeat to themselves. Fly the airplane, over and over, reminding themselves of the most important thing. Because when everything is going wrong, when alarms are going off and things are breaking, that's what matters. Keep the airplane flying. Everything else is secondary. Some pilots visualize. They imagine themselves handling emergencies before they happen. They rehearse in their minds. Engine fire on takeoff? What do I do? Rapid decompression at cruise? What do I do? So when it actually happens, and sometimes it does, it feels familiar, like they've been here before, like they know this dance. You learn that fear is normal, that doubt is normal, that stress is normal, but you also learn that you can't let those things control you. You're in command. That means commanding yourself first. Your thoughts, your reactions, your emotions, all of it. It's a skill, like any other skill. You get better at it with practice, and every flight is practice. Every moment in the cockpit is training for the moment when it really matters. Handling long hours in silence. Sometimes you fly with a first officer who talks a lot. You chat about life, about flying, about nothing important. The hours pass faster. It's nice. Sometimes you fly with someone who doesn't talk much, and that's okay too, it really is. But it means hours of silence, just hours and hours of quiet. Just you, your thoughts, and the humming of the engines, that constant, never-ending hum. The cockpit is small. You're sitting 3 feet apart. You could reach over and touch them, but sometimes it feels like you're alone, completely alone. You watch the instruments, you check the navigation, you listen to air traffic control. Speedbird 247, climb flight level 390. You make radio calls. Center, this is United 832, level at flight level 370. But between all that, there's silence. Long stretches of nothing but engine noise and your own thoughts. You think about home, about what you're missing right now, about what you'll do on your next days off, if you can remember what day it is, about whether you remembered to pay that bill, about whether you're living the life you want to be living. Big thoughts, small thoughts, all mixed together. Sometimes the silence is peaceful. You're above the clouds. The sun is setting, painting the sky orange and pink and purple. The sky is beautiful, and you just exist in that moment. No stress, no rush, just flying, just being. Sometimes the silence is heavy. You're tired, you're lonely. You're wondering what the point of all this is. You look out the window and see nothing but darkness and distance. Miles and miles of nothing. And you feel that nothing inside you too. You learn to be comfortable with silence. Not everyone can do it. Some people need constant stimulation, constant conversation, constant noise. But as a pilot, sometimes all you have is quiet. Hours of it. Days of it if you add it all up. And in that quiet, you get to know yourself. Your thoughts, your doubts, your hopes, your regrets. Everything you usually avoid thinking about because you're busy, because life is loud. But up here, at 38,000 feet, with nothing but time and silence, there's nowhere to hide from your own mind. It's meditation without trying to meditate. It's therapy without a therapist. It's just you being forced to sit with yourself for hours at a time. No phone to scroll, no TV to watch, no distractions. Just you. Some flights, that feels like a gift. Like you needed that time to think, to process, to just be. Some flights, it feels like a curse. Like you're trapped with your worst thoughts and can't escape. But either way, it's part of the job, part of what you signed up for, even if you didn't know it at the time. Coping with jet lag. Jet lag is not like being tired after staying up late. It's different, it's deeper, it's weirder. It's your body being confused about what time it is and where it is and what it should be doing. Your body is like, wait, what? You land in Singapore, it's 7 p.m. here, but your body thinks it's 7 a.m. You should be waking up, having breakfast, starting your day. But everyone here is eating dinner, getting ready for bed soon, winding down, and you're supposed to do the same. So you try. You force yourself to stay awake. You go for a walk even though your legs feel like concrete. You eat something even though you're not hungry. Or wait, are you? You can't tell. You watch TV in your hotel room. You make it to 10 p.m. You're proud of yourself. Good job. You lay down, and you can't sleep. Your brain is awake. Your body is awake. You're exhausted, but wired. It's this weird combination that doesn't make sense, but there it is. You lay there staring at the ceiling, watching the minutes tick by on the clock. 11 p.m., midnight, 1 a.m. This is torture. Finally, around 2 a.m., you fall asleep. And then you wake up at 4 a.m., wide awake, like someone flipped a switch. Your body decided it's morning, even though it's not, even though the sun isn't up, even though you've only slept 2 hours. You try to fall back asleep, you close your eyes, you count sheep. You try every trick you know, but nope, you're awake. So you just lay there, tired but awake, frustrated, angry at your own body, watching the sky slowly get lighter outside your window. This is jet lag, and it happens every trip, every single time you cross multiple time zones. Your body never fully adjusts because by the time it would, you're flying back home and doing it all over again. Going the other direction, confusing everything all over again. You try different strategies. Some pilots swear by melatonin. Take it at the right time, it helps reset your clock. Some use special lights that are supposed to hack your circadian rhythm. Some just accept it and take naps whenever they can. 20 minutes here, an hour there, whatever works. You learn to function on broken sleep. 4 hours here, 2 hours there, a nap in the afternoon, another one at midnight. Your sleep schedule is chaos, complete chaos, and it will be for as long as you do this job. That's just the reality. It affects everything. Your mood, you're irritable when you're tired, everyone is. Your energy, you have none. Your ability to think clearly, good luck with that. Your immune system, you get sick more often. Your relationships, hard to be present when you're exhausted. Everything suffers a little bit, but you keep doing it because this is the job, this is what you signed up for, even if you didn't fully understand what it meant, even if nobody explained that jet lag would become your permanent state of being. Chasing sleep that never stays. You've become an expert on sleep, or trying to sleep, or failing to sleep. You know every trick in the book. You've tried everything. Blackout curtains, eye masks, the expensive ones that are supposed to block every bit of light, earplugs, white noise machines, sleep apps that play rain sounds, or ocean waves, or absolutely nothing at all. Melatonin, chamomile tea, no screens before bed, which you ignore half the time, exercise earlier in the day, cool room temperature, no wait, warm room temperature, sleep on your back. No, your side. Maybe your stomach. Sometimes things work. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes nothing works and you just lay there, wide awake, staring into the darkness. You're tired all the time, but tired doesn't always mean you can sleep. Sometimes, and this is the worst, sometimes you're too tired to sleep. Your body is exhausted, but your brain won't shut off. You're thinking about the flight you just did, the flight you have tomorrow, the thing you forgot to do at home, the weird noise the airplane made that was probably nothing but maybe wasn't. Maybe it was something. Should you have written it up? You fall asleep. Finally. Thank God. And then you wake up 2 hours later. You check your phone. 3 a.m. Great. You try to go back to sleep. Sometimes you can. Sometimes you just lay there frustrated, counting the hours until you have to get up. 4 more hours. 3 more hours. 2 more hours. Why can't you just sleep? Or you sleep too much. You crash for 12 hours straight. You wake up feeling heavy and groggy and somehow more tired than before you went to bed. You missed meals. You missed daylight. It's dark again now. You wasted your whole layover sleeping, but you needed it, didn't you? You must have needed it if you slept that long. Your relationship with sleep becomes complicated. You want it. You need it. But it's unreliable. It doesn't come when you call it. It shows up at weird times. It leaves when you need it most. It's like having a friend who's never there when you need them. You're jealous of people with normal jobs, people who go to bed at 10 p.m. every night, who wake up at 6 a.m. every morning, whose bodies know what to expect, who sleep 8 solid hours and wake up feeling rested. Rested. What does that even feel like anymore? You can't remember the last time you felt truly rested. There's always a deficit, always a debt you're trying to pay off but never quite can. Always this background exhaustion that never fully goes away, no matter how much you sleep. But you keep chasing it. Every hotel room, every night, every layover, hoping this time will be different, hoping you'll finally get the sleep you need, hoping you'll wake up feeling human again, hoping. Quiet doubts between flights. You don't talk about the doubts. Nobody does. Because pilots are supposed to be confident, right? Certain, in control. Got it all figured out. But everyone has them. Everyone. You're not special. You sit in your hotel room. The flight is in 8 hours. And you think, can I really do this? Am I good enough? What if something goes wrong? You've done hundreds of flights. You've landed in terrible weather, like really terrible, scary weather. You've handled emergencies. You've proven yourself over and over and over. But the doubt still creeps in, like water under a door. Maybe it's because you're tired. Maybe it's because you saw something on the news about an accident and now you can't stop thinking about it. Maybe it's because you made a small mistake on your last flight and you can't stop replaying it in your head. It was nothing. Nobody even noticed, but you noticed. And now you're worried you're not as good as you thought. You replay scenarios in your head. Engine failure on takeoff. What would you do? Hydraulic failure. Medical emergency. Diversion to an airport you've never been to. What would you do? Could you handle it? Are you prepared? Really prepared? The answer is yes. You're trained, you're qualified, you're capable. You've done the simulations, you've studied the procedures, you know what to do. But doubt doesn't care about logic. Doubt doesn't care about your training record. Sometimes you wonder if you made the right career choice. You think about your friends from high school, the ones who got normal jobs. They go home at 5 p.m. They have weekends, actual weekends where they don't have to work. They're at every family gathering. They don't miss their kids growing up. They're there for the everyday stuff, and here you are, in a hotel room in a city you'll never really see. Eating room service alone, again, missing another birthday, another anniversary, another normal moment that everyone else gets to have. Is it worth it? Most of the time the answer is yes. You love flying. You really do. You love the challenge. You love the view. You love the feeling of doing something that most people can't do, that most people will never experience. There's pride in that. But sometimes in the quiet moments, usually late at night when you can't sleep, you're not sure. You're just not sure, and that's okay. Doubt doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean you're not good at your job. It just means you're human. It means you think about things. It means you care. You get up, you shower, you put on your uniform, you grab your bag, You go to the airport, you fly the plane, you do your job. Because even with the doubts, you're still a professional, you still show up. The doubts might not go away, but you don't let them stop you. That's the difference between thinking about quitting and actually quitting. You keep going. Your life trying to feel grounded again. Grounded. It's a funny word when you're a pilot. It usually means something bad, right? Grounded aircraft, grounded for weather, grounded by the FAA, definitely bad. But there's another kind of grounded. The feeling of being connected, stable, present, here, actually here. And that's the kind you're always chasing but can never quite catch. You spend so much time in the air, literally in the air. Your office is the sky. You're above the clouds, above the weather, above the earth, disconnected from everything solid, everything real. You touch down, you taxi to the gate, you shut down the engines, you fill out the logbook, aircraft is returned to service, no issues. You walk off the airplane, you're back on the ground, physically on the ground, but you don't feel grounded. Not really. You go home, you hug your family, you sleep in your own bed, your actual bed, not a hotel bed. You eat food from your own kitchen. You sit on your own couch, you do normal people things, regular life stuff, but your mind is still somewhere else. You're thinking about the next trip. What time is the report? Did you pack enough uniforms? What's the weather going to be like? You're still in airplane mode, even though the airplane is miles away. You try. You really try. You go for a run in your neighborhood. Same streets you always run, but it feels different somehow. You have dinner with friends. You watch TV on your couch, the one you picked out in your house. You do normal things. But there's this feeling, this sense that you're just visiting your own life, that the real you is somewhere else, somewhere between here and there, between home and the sky, between grounded and airborne. You're always in between. Some pilots talk about feeling more at home in the cockpit than in their actual home. And you get it. You really get it. Because that's where you spend most of your time. That's where you feel competent and in control. That's where you know exactly what to do. Press this button, check this gauge, make this call. Everything has a procedure. Everything makes sense. At home, things are messy. Relationships are complicated, like really complicated. There are problems you can't solve with a checklist. People are unpredictable in ways that airplanes aren't. Your partner is upset about something, and you're not sure what. Your kid is struggling at school. Your parent is getting older and needs help. There's no procedure for any of this. You want to feel grounded. You want to feel present. You want to feel like this life on the ground is your real life, and flying is just your job. Just the thing you do to pay bills. But sometimes it feels like the opposite. Like flying is your real life, and everything else is just the time between flights. The waiting period until you can go back up. You're working on it. Trying to be more present. Trying to connect. Trying to remember that the people on the ground need you too. Not as a pilot, just as yourself. As a person. As a partner. A parent. A friend. A child. Those roles matter too. Maybe they matter more. It's hard. But you keep trying. Because even pilots need to feel grounded sometimes. Even people who live in the sky need to remember what it feels like to be on solid ground. Part 3. Your life with your crew family. You meet them in the briefing room, or at the gate, or just on the aircraft. Sometimes you've flown with them before. Hey, I remember you, Dallas, right? Usually you haven't. They're complete strangers. Hi, I'm Captain Rodriguez, you say. First Officer Chen, nice to meet you. And just like that, you're a team. You'll spend the next 14 hours together. You'll share a cockpit that's barely bigger than a closet. You'll share decisions, big ones, small ones, all of them. You'll share meals. You'll share the responsibility of getting everyone home safely. Everyone. That's on both of you now. The first hour is always a little awkward. You're figuring each other out. How do they communicate? Are they by the book or more relaxed? Do they like to chat or prefer silence? Are they experienced or are they new enough that they're still nervous about things? You're reading them, learning their style. You learn quickly. You have to. Because you need to trust each other. Like, really trust each other. In an emergency, you can't be wondering if they'll do the right thing. You have to know they will. By hour 3, you're more comfortable. You're talking about more than just the flight. Where they're from. Oh, you're from Seattle? I love Seattle. How long they've been flying. What aircraft they used to fly. Normal getting to know you stuff. The weather conversation, but for pilots. By hour 6, you're joking. Laughing at something stupid. Sharing stories about crazy flights, or weird passengers, or that one time something went wrong, but turned out okay. And then the guy in 32B asked me to put his luggage in the overhead bin while we were at 35,000 feet. I was like, "Sir, I'm flying the plane." The flight attendants come up to the cockpit on their breaks. They bring you coffee. Bless them, seriously. They tell you about a difficult passenger in 32B. He keeps pressing the call button. 5th time in an hour. I don't know what he wants. You chat for a few minutes. They go back to the cabin. You go back to flying. Everyone goes back to their job. This is your crew family, temporary, but real. Really real. You land. You say goodbye. Nice flying with you. You too. Stay safe out there. You probably won't fly with them again for months. Maybe never. Your airline is huge. Thousands of pilots. Thousands of flight attendants. The odds of getting paired with the same people again are basically 0. But for those 14 hours, you were family. You depended on each other. You looked out for each other. You shared something that most people will never understand. Some crews you remember. The first officer who told amazing stories about flying in Alaska. Oh man, those stories. The flight attendant who made everyone laugh, even though it was a terrible delay and everyone was cranky. The crew where everything just clicked and the flight felt easy, felt good. Some crews you forget, not because they were bad, just because there are so many, hundreds of people, thousands over a career. They blur together. They become part of the background of your life. But in the moment, they matter. They really matter. You're not alone up there. You have each other, and that makes everything easier, everything better. Surrounded by strangers, 300 people behind you. You can't see them from the cockpit, but you know they're there. You can feel them. You can hear them sometimes through the door. They're strangers, every single one. You don't know their names. You don't know where they're from. You don't know why they're traveling. You'll never know. Maybe someone's going home for the holidays. Maybe someone's going to a funeral. Someone they loved died, and now they have to say goodbye. Maybe someone's going on their honeymoon. Best week of their life is about to start. Maybe someone's going to a job interview that could change everything. Maybe someone's running away from something. Maybe someone's running towards something they've been dreaming about for years. You don't know, and you'll never know. But it's all happening back there. All those stories, all those lives, all at once, but you're connected to them. In this weird, invisible way, their safety is your job. You're the person they've never met who has to make sure they see their families again. Make sure they make it to that funeral, that honeymoon, that interview, whatever it is. Sometimes you think about them during the flight, especially during the quiet moments when you're just cruising and there's not much to do. You wonder what they're doing back there, sleeping, watching movies, reading, worrying about the turbulence that you barely even noticed. You hear them sometimes, through the cockpit door. Not clearly, but you hear the noise of humanity. A baby crying. Always a baby crying somewhere on a flight. People laughing. The flight attendants doing the service. The sound of carts rolling down the aisle. Normal sounds of people being people. living their lives at 38,000 feet. During boarding, sometimes you stand at the cockpit door and greet them. Welcome aboard. Hey, how are you? Thanks for flying with us. They smile, they nod. Some of them look nervous. Some look excited. Some look tired. Same, friend, same. Some are already on their phones, not even looking up. Some of them look at you like you're a superhero, like you're doing something impossible. Some look at you like you're a bus driver, like this is just a routine thing, nothing special. Both views are kind of true, honestly. You want them to feel safe. That's the most important thing. You want them to trust you even though they don't know you. You want them to get off your airplane and think, that was a good flight. That was smooth. That pilot knew what they were doing. Most of them will never think about you again. You're just the person who flew the plane, the person they never saw. The voice on the intercom saying, flight attendants, prepare for landing. That's okay, that's normal. You don't need recognition, you just need them to get where they're going safely. Strangers, hundreds of them, every flight. You carry them across the world, and then they disappear into their lives, and you disappear into yours. Ships passing in the sky. Different airports around the world. You've seen so many airports. Too many airports. They start to blend together after a while, honestly. One terminal looks like another. One runway looks like another. Some are huge, like truly massive. Multiple terminals connected by trains. Endless gates stretching on forever. Shopping malls built into the airport. You could spend a whole day there and still not see everything. You could probably live there if you had to. Some are tiny. One runway, one gate. A building that looks more like a house than an airport. But they serve their purpose. They get you from point A to point B. Every airport has its own personality, its own quirks, its own way of doing things that makes no sense until someone explains it to you, and even then, it still kind of doesn't make sense. Heathrow is busy and confusing. The taxiways are a maze, like someone designed them drunk. You need to pay attention, or you'll end up in the wrong place, taxiing to the wrong terminal, which is embarrassing and also creates problems. Tokyo is efficient and clean. Everything works perfectly. Everything is on time, like exactly on time. The trains run on time, the bags arrive on time, it's almost too perfect. Like someone designed the ideal airport and then actually built it, and then maintained it. JFK is chaos, always construction somewhere, always delays, always something going wrong, but it's home for many American pilots, so there's a weird comfort in the chaos. You know what to expect, which is that you shouldn't expect anything to go smoothly. Dubai is massive and shiny and new. It feels more like a luxury hotel than an airport. Gold trim everywhere. High-end shops selling stuff you can't afford. People from every country on Earth passing through. It's like the world's most expensive mall that also has planes. Amsterdam is laid back. Friendly. You can get stroop waffles in the terminal. Those Dutch waffle cookies that are way too good. It feels less stressed than other European hubs. People are nicer. Or maybe they're the same and you just like stroop waffles. You learn the procedures for each one. How they do ground control. Every airport is different. How they sequence arrivals. What they expect you to know before you call them. Some airports are easy. Some are challenging, like really challenging. Some are stressful even after you've been there 100 times. Looking at you, Hong Kong. That approach is no joke. You learn where to park, where the crew van picks you up, where to get crew meals, which terminals have the best coffee. This is important. Which gates are the furthest walk. The one time you parked at gate 89 and had to walk for what felt like 3 miles. All the little details that make your job easier, that make your life easier. You could write a guide. A pilot's view of the world's airports. The things passengers never see. The crew areas, the procedures, the challenges. The weird local rules that don't make sense until someone explains them, and even then. But honestly, after a while, they're just airports. Just places you pass through. just part of the routine. You land, you park, you leave. You don't even remember which airport you're at sometimes. Was that Amsterdam or Copenhagen? Both are flat, both are Northern Europe, both. You can't remember. Meeting people you may never see again. You meet people all the time, constantly, at hotels, in terminals, during layovers, fellow pilots, flight attendants, gate agents, passengers who recognize your uniform, random people at hotel bars. Sometimes you have great conversations, deep ones, real ones, the kind where you actually connect with someone, where you share something meaningful, something true. Maybe you're sitting in a hotel bar, it's late. Another pilot sits down next to you. You start chatting, starts with the usual stuff. Where you based, what you flying, and then somehow it gets deeper. They tell you about their family, their struggles, their dreams. You tell them about yours. For an hour, maybe two. You're not strangers. You're two humans sharing your lives, being real with each other. And then it ends. You both have flights in the morning. Well, nice talking to you. Fly safe. You'll probably never see them again. Ever. That conversation, that connection, it's gone. Just gone. Or you're on a crew bus. A flight attendant sits next to you. You joke around. You laugh about something. The terrible hotel breakfast, the passenger who did something weird, whatever. You have that easy chemistry with some people where conversation just flows, like you've known them for years. The bus arrives at the airport. See you around. You go separate ways. Maybe you'll cross paths again. Probably not. It's strange. These brief connections, they feel important in the moment. They feel real, but they're temporary. Everyone's moving. Everyone's going somewhere else. Nobody stays. Nobody can stay. That's the nature of this job, this life. You learn not to get too attached. Not in a cold way, not like you don't care, just in a realistic way. You enjoy the moment. You appreciate the connection. You're grateful for it. But you don't expect it to last, because it won't. It can't. Sometimes you wonder about them later. That first officer from the Singapore flight who was dealing with a divorce. Are they okay? Did they figure it out? That flight attendant who was thinking about quitting. Did they? Are they happier now? That passenger who was nervous about flying and you talked to them for a few minutes to calm them down. Did they make it home okay? Did it help? You'll never know. They're just people who pass through your life. Characters in your story for one scene. Then gone. Back to their own stories, their own lives. It makes you value the relationships that do last. The people who stick around, your family, your old friends from before this job. The people who know you beyond the uniform, beyond the job, beyond all of this. They're rare. They're precious. They're everything. But there's something beautiful about the brief connections too. The temporary friends, the one-time conversations. They remind you that everyone has a story. Everyone's going through something. Everyone's human, just trying to make it through their day, their life, their struggles. You're all just passing through. Some paths cross for a moment. Most don't. But those moments matter. Even if they don't last. Even if you never see them again. They still matter. Shared silence with passengers. There are moments during a flight when you're all sharing the same experience. Like actually the same thing. But nobody's talking about it. Nobody's saying it out loud. Turbulence. The seatbelt sign comes on. Ding, you make an announcement. Folks, we're expecting some rough air ahead. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. Flight attendants, take your seats. The plane starts to shake. Gently at first, then harder. Harder. Bags rattle in the overhead bins. Drinks splash. Someone definitely just spilled their coffee. Some people grip their armrests, knuckles white. Some people just keep reading like nothing's happening. Different responses to the same situation. You're in the cockpit, feeling the same bumps they are. The exact same bumps. Your hands are on the controls. Your eyes are on the instruments. You're working, monitoring, making small adjustments, keeping the airplane stable, reducing speed if you need to. Behind you, 300 people are sitting there, experiencing the same thing. Some are scared, like genuinely scared. Some are unbothered, been through this 100 times. Some are praying. Some are trying to sleep through it. Everyone's different. You're all in this together, in this metal tube, in the sky, in the weather, sharing this moment, but separated by a door and distance and roles. You're the pilot. They're the passengers. Different jobs, same airplane. Or when you're flying through the night, the cabin lights are dim. Most passengers are asleep or trying to sleep. The flight attendants are resting in their jump seats. You're up front flying, watching the stars, so many stars up here, monitoring the systems, doing your job. Everyone's quiet. Everyone's in their own world. But you're all moving together, all headed to the same place, all dependent on each other in ways most of them don't think about. You depend on them to follow instructions. They depend on you to get them there safely. There's something intimate about it, not in a personal way, but in a human way. You're all breathing the same pressurized air. You're all subject to the same physics. You're all trusting the same machine to keep you alive at 38,000 feet, where humans can't survive without help. It's shared silence, shared experience, shared fate, in a way. For these hours, you're all connected, all part of the same thing. Most passengers never think about it like this. They're just trying to get from A to B, and that's fine. That's normal. That's how it should be. They shouldn't have to think about the complexity, the danger, the miracle that is modern aviation. But you think about it sometimes. When the flight is smooth and quiet and everyone's asleep, you look at the dark cabin on the security camera. Some aircraft have those. All those people, all those lives, all of them trusting you with something precious. Their safety, their futures, everything. It's heavy, but it's also kind of beautiful. This shared silence, this shared trust, this temporary community in the sky. Missing birthdays and familiar voices. Your daughter's birthday is next week, Tuesday, but you're flying. You'll be in London or Dubai or somewhere that's not home. You bid for that day off. You tried. You really tried. You even tried to trade trips with other pilots. Posted in the group chat, "Anyone want to swap? I've got a 4-day, I really need Tuesday off." Nobody could help. Everyone's schedule is complicated. Everyone's trying to make their own life work. So you'll miss it. Again, you'll call. Of course you'll call. You'll video chat if the time zone works out. You'll sing happy birthday through a phone screen, your voice coming through tiny speakers. You'll see her smile through pixelated video. But you won't be there. Not really. You won't see the look on her face when she opens presents. You won't be there to blow out candles. You won't be there for the everyday moment that should be simple but matters so much. Your parents are getting older. You notice it every time you visit, which isn't often enough. Every time you see them, they look a little older, a little slower. Your dad's hair's more gray. Your mom moves more carefully. Time is doing what time does. You hug them goodbye after a visit. And you wonder, and this thought is always there lurking. You wonder if you're missing too much of the time you have left. They won't be here forever. Nobody's here forever. And you're spending so much time away. Your best friend from college is going through a rough time. Breakup, bad one, needs someone to talk to. Needs a friend to just sit with them, just be there. But you're in London, or Tokyo, or somewhere. You text. You call when you can. I'm here for you, call me anytime. But it's not the same. It's not the same as actually being there. Your partner has gotten used to doing things alone, making decisions alone, handling problems alone. Because you're not there, you're rarely there. And when you are there, you're tired. You're recovering. You're preparing for the next trip. You're present but not fully present. You miss things. Constantly. Inevitably. It's the nature of the job. It's what you signed up for, even if you didn't fully understand it at the time. You try to be present when you can. You try to make the time you have at home count. You're intentional about it. You plan things. Let's do something special this weekend. You create moments on purpose, but you can't escape the fact that you're gone a lot, that you're missing the everyday stuff. The random Tuesday night dinners where nothing special happens, but it's nice just to be together. The Sunday morning laziness where you stay in bed too long and nobody cares. The midnight conversations when someone can't sleep and just wants to talk. The small moments that actually make up a life. You hear their voices on the phone. Your kid, your partner, your parents, your friends. Familiar voices that ground you, that remind you who you are beyond the uniform and the job and the pilot thing. And you miss them. Not just the big moments you're absent for, though those hurt too, but them. Their presence, their physical proximity, the comfort of being near the people who know you best, who've seen you at your worst and still love you anyway. The job gives you a lot. Adventure, purpose, good pay, the satisfaction of doing something challenging, but it takes to. It takes time. It takes presence. It takes the everyday moments. It takes the simple pleasure of just being there. You signed up for it. You knew what you were getting into. Sort of, but knowing doesn't make it easier. Understanding the trade-off doesn't make you miss people less. So you do your best. You call when you can. You're present when you're home. Really present, not just physically there. You try not to let guilt consume you. You remember why you're doing this. You try to make it worth it. But some nights, in some hotel room, you just miss home. You miss the familiar voices. You miss being part of the daily routine instead of a visitor in your own life. You miss feeling like you belong somewhere instead of feeling like you're always between places, always in transit, always on your way somewhere else. Part 4. Dealing with random chaos. It's supposed to be a simple flight. London to New York, 8 hours. You've done it 100 times, maybe more. You could do it in your sleep. Except you can't sleep, but that's a different problem. But nothing is simple today. Nothing. First, there's a maintenance issue. You're doing the pre-flight check and there's a warning light. Yellow light. Could be nothing. Could be something. You write it up. Maintenance comes on board. They're never happy to see you, by the way. They check it. They run tests. They and and look at manuals. They replace a sensor. An hour passes. A whole hour. Just gone. Finally, you're cleared. Lights off. System's good. Let's go. You push back from the gate. You start the engines. That satisfying rumble. You're ready. Finally ready. But now there's a ground stop. Of course there is. Weather in New York. Thunderstorms. Bad ones. Nobody's landing. So nobody's leaving. You sit on the taxiway. Engines running. Fuel burning. Which you're watching carefully because fuel costs money. And also, you need it to fly. Passengers getting restless back there. You can feel the energy changing. The first officer looks at you. How long do you think? You shrug. Could be 20 minutes, could be 2 hours. We'll see. Because you honestly don't know. Nobody knows. Weather does what it wants. You make an announcement. You try to sound optimistic but realistic. There's an art to this. Folks, we've got some weather delays in New York. We're gonna wait here for a bit while they sort things out. We'll keep you updated. Which is code for, I don't know when we're leaving. I wish I did, but I don't. The flight attendants come up to the cockpit. What do you want us to do? People are asking questions. Tell them we're waiting for clearance. As soon as we have more information, I'll let everyone know. Which is all you can say because it's all you know. So you wait, and wait, and wait some more. You monitor the radio. You watch other planes. Some are turning around, going back to the gate. You consider it. Do we go back? But that means more delays. passengers getting off, refueling, starting the whole process again, which might take even longer. You decide to wait a bit longer. Give it 30 more minutes. See what happens. 30 minutes later, the ground stop lifts. Finally. Thank God. You're cleared for departure. You call the passengers. Good news, folks. We're cleared. We should be taking off shortly. But now you're in a long line, 15 planes ahead of you. You can see them stretched out on the taxiway. Each one takes 2 minutes to take off. That's 30 more minutes. 30 more minutes of sitting here, burning fuel, getting further behind schedule. What was supposed to be an 8-hour flight is now, you do the math, 10 hours, maybe more. 2 hours of delays for reasons you can't control. Weather you can't change. Systems that break. Air traffic control that's overwhelmed. None of it is your fault, but somehow you feel responsible anyway. The passengers are frustrated. You get it. You're frustrated too. You want to go home just as much as they do. Maybe more because you've been up since 3:30 a.m. and you're so tired. But this is the job. Dealing with delays. Staying patient when you don't feel patient. Staying calm when you want to scream. Making the best decisions you can with the information you have, which is never enough information. Eventually, you take off. Eventually, you get there. Eventually, everyone gets home. Just later than anyone wanted. Way later. Your life facing sudden weather shifts. You took off from Singapore. The forecast was clear, like completely clear. Easy flight? No problems expected. You're thinking this is going to be smooth, might actually get some rest. 4 hours in, things change. Because weather is a liar. Weather doesn't care about forecasts. There's a line of thunderstorms developing, right across your route. It wasn't supposed to be there. The forecast didn't show it. But there it is on your radar. A wall of red and yellow. Angry colors. Dangerous weather. The kind you definitely can't fly through. You talk to your first officer. We need to deviate. They nod. They see it too. You ask air traffic control for a new route. Center, United 832, requesting deviation left of course for weather. They approve it. You turn south, adding time to the flight, adding fuel consumption. But staying safe, which is the only thing that matters. You watch the weather. It's building. Fast. Like really fast. Faster than the forecast predicted. Faster than it should. The line is getting longer, stretching across your new route. The storms are getting stronger, more intense. The radar is showing reds and magentas now. Really bad stuff. Now the southern route is blocked too. And the northern route, you check, blocked as well. You're surrounded by weather, like actually surrounded. And you're committed now. You're over the ocean. You can't turn back, you're too far. Singapore is hours behind you. You have to keep going. You have to. You think about options. There's an alternate airport, an island. You could land there, wait it out on the ground. But that's a last resort. That creates all kinds of problems. Passengers stranded. Crew, timing out. You can only work so many hours legally. The company having to send another plane. Costs money, creates chaos. Nobody wants that. You decide to slow down. Give the weather time to move, to shift. Sometimes that's the smartest move, not rushing into a problem. Burn a little extra time. Let the storms do their thing. Weather moves, eventually. 30 minutes later, there's a gap, a hole in the line. Not big, but big enough. You can squeeze through maybe, if you time it right, if you're lucky. You coordinate with ATC. Center, United 832. We see a gap in the weather, requesting direct to. You give them the waypoint. They approve. You speed up. You aim for the gap. Your eyes are on the radar, glued to it. Your hands are on the controls. Your brain is calculating. Speed, distance, time. Will you make it? Can you make it? You do. You make it. The ride gets bumpy for a few minutes. Really bumpy, everything shaking. Nothing dangerous, just uncomfortable. The seatbelt sign is on. The flight attendants are strapped in their jump seats. Some passengers are probably freaking out back there. But you're through. You made it. Then you're through. Clear sky ahead. The tension in your shoulders releases. You didn't even realize you were tense. Your jaw was clenched. You roll your neck. Breathe. You make an announcement. Sorry for the rough ride, folks. We had to navigate around some weather. Should be smooth from here on out. You keep it simple. No need to tell them how close that was, how uncertain you were. Crisis averted. But you didn't know that an hour ago. An hour ago, you were stressed, uncertain, running through worst-case scenarios in your head. What if we can't get through? What if we have to divert? What if? What if? What if? Weather doesn't care about your plans. Weather doesn't check the forecast. And you're constantly adapting, constantly reassessing, constantly making decisions with incomplete information and hoping, just hoping, that you're making the right call. That's flying. That's the job. Your life. When the schedule breaks. You had a plan for this month. 3 trips, 12 days of work, 18 days at home. It looked good when you bid for it. You were like, okay, this is manageable, this works, but schedules break. They always break. Your first trip is normal. Everything goes fine, no problems. You come home thinking, hey, maybe this month will be easy, maybe things are looking up. Your second trip starts okay, but then things fall apart. Your first leg gets delayed. Maintenance issue, again. They find something during the pre-flight. You wait, and wait. You arrive at your layover city 4 hours late. 4 hours. That cuts into your legally required rest period. You don't have enough time. You're illegal to fly the next leg. The FAA is very clear about crew rest, and you're below the minimum now. The company scrambles. They find another crew to operate your plane. They reassign you to a different flight. Different route, different schedule, different hotel. Everything changes. You text your family. Plans changed. I won't be home Wednesday. They're used to this by now, but it still sucks. Probably Thursday now, maybe Friday. Thursday comes. You're supposed to fly home. You can taste it. But there's weather. Massive storms across the entire region. Flights are canceling everywhere. Yours cancels too. You're stuck. They hotel you. Another night in another room. You're exhausted. You're frustrated. You just want to go home. That's all you want. Friday. Finally. You get out. You get on the flight home. You land. You get home. 24 hours late. A whole day late. You have 2 days at home before your next trip starts. 2 days to recover, to do laundry, to be a person, to remember what your house looks like. Except you don't. You get a call the night before. Your trip's been reassigned. We need you for a different route. Report time is 4 hours earlier than scheduled. 4 hours earlier. So much for those 2 days. One of them just disappeared. Gone. You have to pack tonight. You have to prepare tonight. You have to be ready 4 hours earlier than you expected. This is life when the schedule breaks. And schedules break all the time. Weather, maintenance, crew shortages. Somebody called in sick. Somebody's flight got delayed. The whole system is interconnected. Air traffic control issues. Computer glitches. Those are the worst when the whole system goes down. Things you can't predict and definitely can't control. You learn to be flexible. You have to be. You learn not to make concrete plans. You learn to tell your family probably and maybe instead of definitely, because definitely is a lie in this job. Nothing is definite. You learn that the schedule is more like a suggestion, a starting point, an idea of what might happen if everything goes perfectly. And everything never goes perfectly. Never. Your life adapting to constant change. Change is the only constant in this job. And that's not like a philosophical statement, it's just true. It's just how it is. New procedures, new regulations, new aircraft, new routes, new technology, new policies. It never stops. Never. You get comfortable with something and boom, it changes. You thought you had things figured out. You've been flying the same aircraft for 3 years. You know it inside and out. Every button, every system, every quirk. You could operate it blindfolded probably. You're comfortable, confident. This is your airplane. Then the airline announces a fleet change. They're phasing out your aircraft. Budget reasons, efficiency reasons, whatever. You're being transitioned to a different model, which means training, which means studying, which means learning everything again from scratch. You're back in the classroom, back in the simulator, back to feeling like a new pilot who doesn't quite know what they're doing. It's humbling. You were confident last month. Now you're stumbling through checklists, second-guessing yourself, making mistakes that you'd never make on your old aircraft. Wait, which button is the autopilot? No, that's on the other side now. It's frustrating, but you adapt, you learn, you practice. Eventually, the new aircraft becomes familiar, then comfortable, then second nature. You get there, just in time for the company to change something else, because of course they do. New company policy about fuel planning. Now you have to calculate things differently, fill out different forms, follow different procedures. Why? Nobody really explains why. It's just the new way, okay? So you adapt. You learn the new way. New air traffic control procedures at your base airport. Different phraseology, different clearances, different expectations. You have to relearn what you thought you knew. You have to pay attention when you're used to things being automatic. It's mental work, constant mental work. Technology changes. The company introduces new iPads with new software. The interface is different. Things are in different places. Functions you used every day are gone or renamed or work differently now. It's supposed to be better. They always say it's better. Maybe it is, eventually. But there's a learning curve, and you're too tired for learning curves. You're always too tired. You adapt. Because you have to. Because the job demands it. Because things don't stay the same. They never stay the same. Some pilots hate it. They really hate it. They want things to be stable, predictable, the same way they've always been. They resist change. They complain. Why do we have to do it this way now? The old way worked fine. And then they adapt anyway because there's no choice. Change happens whether you like it or not. You've learned to expect it, to roll with it, to accept that just when you get comfortable, something will shift. Something will change. The rug will get pulled out, and you'll have to find your balance again. It keeps you sharp. That's what you tell yourself. Constant change means constant learning. It means you can't get complacent. It means you're always growing, always adapting, always evolving. But honestly, sometimes you just want things to stay the same for a while. Just for a little while. Is that too much to ask? Apparently, yes. Yes, it is. Your life balancing precision and peace. Flying requires precision. Like really precise, exact speeds, exact altitudes, exact procedures, exact timing. There's very little room for error. Very little. You're given a crossing restriction. Air traffic control says, United 832, cross Bosox at flight level 240, 250 knots. That means you need to be at exactly 24,000 feet, going exactly 250 knots when you reach that specific point in space. Not close, not approximately, exact. So you calculate, you plan, you start your descent at the right time, you adjust your speed, you monitor your progress, you make corrections, little adjustments with the throttle, with the descent rate. Everything has to be precise. It requires focus. It requires attention. It requires precision. You're doing math in your head, you're watching instruments, you're thinking 3 steps ahead. But you also need peace, mental calmness, emotional stability. You can't be stressed and fly well. You can't be anxious and make good decisions. You can't be panicked and stay precise. It doesn't work. Your hands shake. Your thinking gets cloudy. You make mistakes. So you're constantly balancing precision and peace, focus and calmness, intensity and relaxation, both at the same time, all the time. It's a strange combination. Most jobs are one or the other, right? Either they require intense focus and it's okay to be stressed. Like a surgeon, they're focused but also stressed. Or they require calmness and it's okay to be a little loose with the details, like a yoga instructor or whatever. Flying requires both at the same time. You have to be exact about the numbers while also being calm. You have to be precise while also being peaceful. They almost seem like opposites, but they're not. They can't be. You have to have both. Sometimes it feels impossible. Like you can't be calculating fuel burns and weight limits and descent rates while also breathing deeply and staying calm. But you have to. You figure it out. You develop techniques. You compartmentalize. During critical phases, takeoff, landing, when things are intense, you're 100% precision mode. Focused, detailed, exact. Every button, every call, every action is deliberate. Then, when things are cruising, when you're at altitude just flying straight, you let yourself relax a bit. You chat with the first officer about nothing. You look out the window. You enjoy the view. You give your brain a break. You breathe. Then you go back to precision mode when you need to. For the descent, for the approach, for the landing, back to focused, back to exact. It's a rhythm, a balance, a dance between two different mental states, back and forth, precise, peaceful, precise, peaceful. Some pilots are naturally better at one than the other. Some are great at precision, but struggle with peace. They're tense all the time. They're wound up. They burn out faster. Some are great at staying calm but miss details. They're relaxed but sloppy. They make mistakes that shouldn't happen. The best pilots have both. They're precise when it matters. They're peaceful when it counts. They know when to be which. They flow between the two naturally, like breathing. You're working on it. Every flight, every day. Trying to find that balance. Trying to be exact and calm. Technical and human. Precise and peaceful. It's harder than it sounds. Way harder. Your life living between time zones. What time is it? Seriously, what time is it? That's a harder question than it should be. Your watch shows your home time zone. It's 3 p.m. there. The aircraft clock shows GMT, which is, you have to calculate, 8 p.m. The arrival city is 8 hours ahead of home, so there it's 11 p.m. Your body thinks it's some other time entirely based on when you last slept, which was, you honestly can't remember. You land, you check into the hotel, you look at the clock on the wall, 8 p.m. Should you eat dinner? You're not hungry. You ate on the plane, but that was 5 hours ago. Or was it? That was in a different time zone. Was it lunch? Was it dinner? Does it even matter anymore? You try to remember what day it is. You left on Tuesday, but you crossed the international date line, so now it's Wednesday. Or is it Thursday? You genuinely don't know. You pull out your phone. Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday. You repeat it to yourself like it means something. Your phone buzzes, text from home. You look at the timestamp, it's midnight there, they're asleep. But here, it's mid-afternoon. You're wide awake. You're in different days somehow, living different schedules. Even though you're in the same relationship, same family, you're just separated by time. You try to stay connected. You call when you can. But when is a good time? When you're free, they're sleeping. When they're awake, You're flying. You play time zone games in your head, calculating. If it's 2 p.m. here and I'm 8 hours ahead, then it's 6 a.m. there. Too early to call. They're still sleeping. So you text. You send photos. You try to share your life across time zones. Here's the sunrise from the cockpit. Beautiful. They'll see it hours from now when they wake up. It's not the same as being there, sharing it in real time. But it's something. Your body lives in permanent confusion. It doesn't know when to sleep, when to be hungry, when to be alert. You're constantly adjusting, constantly calculating, constantly trying to force your biology to conform to geography. And your biology is like, I don't understand what you want from me. You take off from Tokyo at midnight, land in Los Angeles at 4 p.m. the same day, except you've been awake for 18 hours. But it's afternoon. Should you stay up? Should you sleep? What's the right answer? There is no right answer. You just do your best. You sleep when you can. You eat when you need to. You adapt. Constantly adapting. Every trip a new puzzle of time zones and biology. And trying to feel normal when nothing about your schedule is normal. You're living between time zones, not fully in any of them, existing in the spaces between, where time is relative and weird, where your body is always a little bit confused, where what time is it is a genuinely complicated question. Part 5. Your time to reflect. Down below, people are dealing with terrible weather, like really terrible. Rain, wind, thunder, lightning. Flights are canceled, airports are shut down, people are stuck, cars are pulled over. It's chaos down there, but you're above it, way above it. You're at 41,000 feet. The storms are beneath you. You can see them, massive towers of clouds reaching up, building, growing, flashing with lightning, beautiful and violent and powerful all at once. But they can't touch you. You're in smooth air, clear sky, sunshine, like you're in a completely different world. There's something almost unreal about it. The storm looks angry from up here. You can see it trying to reach you. These towers of cumulonimbus clouds pushing higher and higher, but you're higher. You're above it, like you're in a safe zone that the weather can't access. You watch the lightning. From up here, it looks like a light show. Flashes inside the clouds, lighting them up from within. Purple and white and blue. It's beautiful in a way it never is from the ground. From the ground, lightning is scary. From up here, it's art. The first officer is watching too, not saying anything, just watching. You're both quiet, just appreciating it. The view, the power of nature, the fact that you get to witness this from a perspective that very few people ever see. That's intense, they finally say. Yeah, that's all you need to say. Because what else is there? It's intense. It's beautiful. It's humbling. Being above the storms feels metaphorical sometimes. Like this job gives you a different perspective on everything. You're above the chaos, not untouched by it. You're definitely affected by weather, by delays, by all of it, but separate from it somehow. Watching from a distance, problems that seem huge from the ground seem smaller from up here. Traffic jams don't matter when you're 7 miles above them. Office politics don't reach you. Daily frustrations are tiny. Up here, there's just the sky, the airplane, the job. Everything else falls away. It's peaceful. In a way that's hard to explain to people who haven't experienced it. You're in a metal tube going 500 miles per hour, but it's peaceful. You're above the storms, literally and figuratively. And for these few hours, that feels like exactly where you're supposed to be. Your life watching dawn from 38,000 feet. Night flights are special. They're different, quieter somehow. But the best part, the absolute best part, is always the sunrise. You've been flying for 6 hours. It's been dark the whole time. Stars above, blackness below, just you and the first officer, and the glow of the instruments. Everything quiet. The passengers are asleep. The cabin is dark. The flight attendants are resting in their jump seats, trying to catch a little rest themselves. The world is quiet. Like actually quiet. Then slowly, the horizon starts to change. A thin line of light, barely visible at first. You almost miss it. Deep blue, almost purple. Just the faintest hint that something's coming. You watch it. You can't help but watch it. You've seen 1,000 sunrises. Literally 1,000, maybe more. But you still watch. Because each one is different. Each one is beautiful. Each one is worth watching. The line gets brighter. Blue becomes orange. Orange becomes pink. The colors spread across the horizon like someone's painting the sky in real time. Like you're watching creation happen. Again. Every day. This miracle that just keeps happening. The first officer notices too. They stop talking mid-sentence, just watching. Because this is one of those moments. One of those reminders of why you do this job. Why you put up with all the rest of it. The sun breaks the horizon. Suddenly there's light everywhere. The cockpit goes from dark to bright in seconds. You reach for your sunglasses. You're squinting. It's so bright after hours of darkness. Below you, the clouds light up. They were gray and formless in the dark, just shapes in the blackness. Now they're glowing, pink and gold and orange. They look like they're on fire, like someone lit them from underneath. You're flying into the sunrise, chasing the dawn, moving so fast that you're actually catching up to it. It feels symbolic, like you're moving toward something, toward light, toward a new day, toward hope, maybe. That sounds cheesy, but that's what it feels like. This is what people don't see. Passengers are asleep, missing this. They have no idea what's happening up here. But you get to watch it, every time. It's your private show. Your secret gift for being up here, for doing this job, for living this life. You think about how many people are down there, still sleeping. How many people are waking up, starting their morning routines, brushing teeth, making coffee, getting ready for work. How many people will see this same sunrise from the ground just a little later, from their windows, from their cars, from wherever they are, but you're seeing it from here, from 38,000 feet, moving through it at 500 miles per hour, and it's spectacular, it's breathtaking. It's one of those things you'll never get tired of, no matter how many times you see it. Beautiful, the first officer says. Their voice is quiet, like they don't want to disturb the moment. Yeah, that's all you need to say, because some moments don't need words. They just need to be witnessed, appreciated, remembered. This is your life watching dawn from 38,000 feet, and it never gets old. Never. Your life seeing continents glow beneath you. Night flights over populated areas are incredible, like genuinely incredible, because you can see humanity from space, almost from space anyway. You're flying over Europe. It's dark, completely dark, but below you, the entire continent is glowing. Cities, towns, villages, roads connecting everything, all lit up, all connected by strings of light. You can see the coastlines, not because you see water is black at night, but because the lights stop. The edge of the land is marked by the absence of light. You see where cities end and ocean begins. It's like looking at a map, except it's real. It's happening right now beneath you. You can see the highways, lines of yellow lights connecting the cities, cars moving, people traveling, going about their lives while you fly overhead, so high they can't even see you, or maybe they can. Maybe they look up and see your lights and wonder where you're going. You can see patterns, how cities are distributed, how they cluster along coasts and rivers. Makes sense? People need water. How some areas are bright with dense population, how others are dark and empty. The Alps are dark, the Mediterranean coast is bright. You can see civilization's fingerprints on the landscape. It's like looking at a map, but it's real. It's actual, it's happening right now. This is not a picture. This is not animated. This is the real world, just from a perspective most people never get to see. You fly over Paris. The whole city lights up the darkness. You can see the Seine snaking through it. You can actually see the river because the lights follow it. You can see the bright center, all those monuments and buildings, and the gradual fade to suburbs, from bright to dim to dark. The life of a city visible from space, then London, then Amsterdam, each city with its own personality, its own pattern of light, its own glow. London is sprawling and huge. Amsterdam is more compact. You can tell cities apart just by how their lights are arranged. You think about all those people down there, millions of them, each one living their own life, each one dealing with their own problems and joys and routines, each one a whole universe of experience. Someone down there is having the best day of their life. Someone's having the worst. Someone just fell in love. Someone's heart just broke. All of it happening simultaneously. And you're up here, watching, moving over them at impossible speed, connecting cities, crossing countries in minutes that would take days to drive. You're covering distance that used to take months. Now it takes hours, and you're doing it while they sleep. Sometimes you wish you could show people this view. Your family, your friends, anyone who's never seen it. Because it changes your perspective. It makes you realize how connected everything is. How small borders seem from up here. You can't see them, they're just lines on maps. How human civilization is really just a network of lights in the darkness. How we're all down there together, living on this one planet, under this one sky. But this view is yours, part of the job, part of the privilege of being up here, part of the reason you put up with everything else. You're seeing continents glow beneath you, and it reminds you that you're not just flying a machine. You're witnessing the world, all its beauty, all its complexity, all its light shining in the darkness. Your life suspended between day and night. There's this phenomenon when you fly east at the right time, or west, depending. You're chasing the sun, or running from it, or suspended in this weird place where it's both day and night at the same time. Time gets weird, really weird. That you take off from San Francisco at sunset. The sun is going down, the sky is orange and pink. Beautiful. Classic California sunset, everyone's taking pictures. You fly east, toward New York. Normally you'd fly into darkness, right? Into night. The sun sets, and boom, it's dark. That's how it works on the ground. But you're moving so fast, 500 miles per hour. You're almost keeping pace with the rotation of the Earth. Almost. So the sun doesn't set. Not really. Not completely. It stays on the horizon, for hours. The whole flight, the sky is this constant twilight. Never fully day, never fully night. Just this perpetual in-between state. This orange-pink glow that shouldn't be possible but is. It's surreal. Time feels broken. You're suspended in this moment that shouldn't exist. This liminal space where normal rules don't apply, where time doesn't work the way it's supposed to. The passengers don't notice. Most of them close their windows. They watch movies. They sleep. They don't see what you're seeing, but you see it. You're watching the sky stay the same impossible color for 5 hours straight. Or sometimes it's the opposite. You fly west. You take off in darkness, and you fly into the sunrise, and then the sun stays up, and you land in daylight even though it should be night. Your body is screaming that it's night, that you should be sleeping, but the sun is up and everyone else is awake, and you have to pretend you're awake too. Time becomes weird when you fly. You can gain hours, lose hours, exist in moments that shouldn't be possible. Leave on Monday and arrive on Monday even though you flew for 10 hours. Leave at midnight and arrive at midnight. The clock says you didn't move through time at all, but you definitely did. You flew across an ocean. You're on a different continent. But the clock says it's the same time. It messes with your head. In the beginning, you tried to figure it out, to make sense of it, to understand how time works when you're moving this fast. But eventually you just accept it. Time is relative when you're moving at 500 miles per hour, when you're crossing time zones, when you're suspended between day and night. You exist in this strange space, between here and there, between yesterday and tomorrow, between day and night, between rested and exhausted, though you're usually just exhausted, between home and away, always between. Suspended, that's the word. You're suspended in the sky, suspended in time, suspended between all the normal things that define life for people on the ground. It's disorienting, like genuinely disorienting. You look at your watch and it means nothing. The time doesn't match what your body feels, doesn't match what the sky looks like, doesn't match anything, but also, it's kind of magical. You're living in a way that breaks the normal rules. You're accessing something most people never experience. You're seeing time be flexible, be weird, be relative. A different way of being, a different way of moving through time and space, a different perspective on reality itself. And sometimes, in these suspended moments, you feel like you're part of something bigger, something beyond the normal human experience. Realizing how small everything is. You're at 40,000 feet. You look down. The world is tiny, like really tiny. Cities that feel huge when you're in them. When you're stuck in traffic or walking through crowds, they're just small patches of gray from up here. All those buildings, all those streets, all those people, condensed into something you could cover with your thumb if you held your hand up to the window. Mountains that seem massive from the ground, like genuinely intimidating when you're hiking them or driving through them. They're just wrinkles in the landscape from up here. Little bumps, small ripples on the surface of the earth. Nothing dramatic, just texture. The problems you were worried about before the flight, the argument with your partner that felt huge, the bill you forgot to pay, the decision you can't make. They feel even smaller than the cities below. They feel microscopic, tiny, almost meaningless from up here. Because up here you get perspective, actual literal perspective. You can see how much earth there is, how much water, so much water, how much empty space, how the things that feel important are really just tiny dots in an enormous world. It's humbling, like genuinely humbling. You realize you're not as important as you think. Your problems aren't as big as they feel. Your life is just one tiny story in billions of stories happening simultaneously down there, right now, all at once. But it's also comforting, weirdly comforting, because if you're small, then your mistakes are small too. Your failures are small. Your regrets are small. They matter to you, of course they matter to you. But in the grand scheme, they're just moments. Just tiny blips on a timeline that's so much bigger than you. You watch the Earth curve. You can actually see it from this height. The curvature of the planet, you're seeing proof, actual visual proof, that you're on a sphere floating in space. It's not theoretical, it's not something you read in a book, it's right there, you can see it with your own eyes, and you think about how people used to think the Earth was flat, how they couldn't imagine anything beyond their horizon, how limited their perspective was. They saw their little village, their little kingdom, and thought that was the world. That was everything. And you think about what your own limitations might be, what perspectives you're missing, what things you think are true just because you can't see far enough, just because your horizon is limited. What would you see if you could go even higher, if you could see even more? Being up here changes you, not dramatically, not all at once, but slowly, over time, flight after flight. You accumulate perspective. You realize how small everything is, how small you are, how small your problems are, how small even the big things are. And somehow, and this is the weird part, somehow that makes life easier, less stressful, less overwhelming. Because if everything's small, then you can handle it. You can deal with it. You can put things in perspective. That fight with your partner? Small. You'll work it out. That bill you forgot? Small. You'll pay it. That decision you can't make? Small. Either choice will be fine because in the grand scheme, it doesn't matter as much as you think it does. Your life realizing how small everything is. It's one of the unexpected gifts of this job. One of the things nobody talks about but every pilot feels, eventually. Your life, where peace feels mechanical. There's a strange thing that happens up here. You find peace, which is good. Peace is good. But it's not the kind of peace you find in nature. Not the kind you find in meditation or yoga, or quiet moments at home with a cup of tea. It's mechanical peace, which sounds wrong. How can peace be mechanical? But it is. It really is. The engines hum, constant rhythmic, loud but somehow soothing once you get used to it. They've been making that exact sound for 6 hours. They'll keep making it for 6 more, never changing, never stopping. Just this steady, reliable hum. The autopilot holds the aircraft perfectly level, perfectly on course. No deviation, no wandering, just machine precision. Better than any human could do it, honestly. Just holding it there. Steady, stable. The systems all show green. Normal. Working. Predictable. You scan them every few minutes. It's automatic now, you don't even think about it. Same readings, same status. Everything is as it should be. Everything is working the way it's designed to work. There's comfort in this. Real comfort. The machine doesn't get tired, doesn't get distracted, doesn't have bad days or personal problems. It just works. Reliably. Consistently. Hour after hour. And sitting in this machine, surrounded by its systems, you absorb some of that mechanical stability. Your heartbeat slows to match the rhythm of the engines. You swear it does. Your breathing becomes steady. Your mind settles into the routine of scanning instruments and monitoring systems. Check, check, check. Everything's good. You're part of the machine right now, an extension of it. You're not fighting it or controlling it so much as working with it. Being its partner, you in the airplane, doing this thing together. It's a strange kind of peace, because everything around you is mechanical, metal, computers, hydraulics, electricity. Nothing organic, nothing natural, nothing soft or warm or alive. But somehow, in this artificial environment, you find calm. Maybe it's because everything is predictable. Unlike life, which is chaotic and unpredictable and full of variables you can't control. Your relationships, your emotions, your future, all unpredictable. But up here, in the machine, things make sense, things follow rules, things work the way they're supposed to. If you push this button, this happens. If you turn this knob, that happens. Cause and effect. Simple, clear, predictable. Or maybe it's just the altitude, the distance from problems, the physical separation from everything complicated. You're 7 miles above all of it, above the traffic and the bills and the arguments and the decisions, above all the messy human stuff that makes life difficult. Whatever it is, you feel it. Peace. In the mechanical hum, in the green system displays, in the steady vibration of the airframe that never changes. In the reliability of the machine that just does what it's supposed to do, every time without complaining. It's not the peace you're supposed to seek. Self-help books don't talk about finding inner calm through aviation systems. Meditation apps don't say, imagine yourself in a cockpit surrounded by perfectly functioning machinery. But it works. For you, it works. Your life where peace feels mechanical. Strange. Wrong, maybe. But real. So real. Part 6. Your life after every landing. 14 hours. You've been in this seat for 14 hours. Your back hurts. Like really hurts. Your legs are stiff. You stood up a few times, stretched a few times, but it's not enough. Your eyes are dry and tired and burning. You've been staring at instruments for 14 hours. You're exhausted in a way that's hard to describe. But you're almost done. Almost there. You start the descent. Air traffic control vectors you toward the airport. United 832. Descend and maintain flight level 280. You dial it in. The aircraft starts down. You're on the approach now. Following the instruments. Following the procedures you've done 1,000 times. Even tired, you know this. You can do this. The airport appears in the distance. Lights in the darkness. Your home base. Almost there. So close now. You fly the approach. The first officer calls out altitudes, speeds. 1,000 feet. 500 feet. 400. You're focused now. Tired, but focused. This is the most critical phase, the landing. No room for errors here. Not now. Not after 14 hours of doing everything right. 500 feet. 400. 300. The runway is right there, so close. You can see the lights clearly now. You flare, pull back on the yoke gently. The main wheels touch, smooth, then the nose wheel. You're down. You made it. Reverse thrust. The engines roar, braking, slowing. The airplane shakes and vibrates like it always does. You guide it down the runway. Straight, controlled. Professional even though you're so tired you can barely see straight. You make the turnoff. Taxi to the gate. The airport is familiar. You know these taxiways like you know your own neighborhood. Better, maybe? This is home. Your home airport. You've landed here hundreds of times. Finally, you reach the gate. You set the parking brake. You shut down the engines. One by one, the systems go quiet. Engine 1. Engine 2. The fuel pumps. The hydraulics. Everything powering down. Silence. After 14 hours of engine noise, the silence is almost shocking. Almost loud in its own way. You sit there for a moment. Just breathing. Just existing. Not doing anything. Just being. You did it. Another flight. Safe. Complete. Everyone's getting off the plane behind you, going to their lives. You got them here. All of them. You fill out the logbook. Sign your name. The first officer does the same, closing the flight officially. Making it real. Making it done. Good flight, they say. Yeah, thanks for your help. You shake hands. Professional. Brief. Friendly, but not close. You'll probably never fly with them again. That's just how it is. The passengers are deplaning. You can hear them shuffling out, dragging bags, talking, complaining about the long flight. God, that was brutal. Happy to be on the ground. Happy to be done. Same, buddy. Same. You gather your stuff, your flight bag, your headset, your coffee mug that's been empty for hours, your phone. You stand up. Your knees crack. Loud. Your back is stiff. You feel every single one of those 14 hours in your body. You walk off the airplane, through the jet bridge, into the terminal. You're just another person now, not a pilot, not responsible for anything. Just someone walking through an airport, wearing a uniform, pulling a suitcase. But you're done. The flight is over. You're on the ground. You can rest now. You can go home. Finally. After all of it. Finally. Your life in the taxi back home. You're in the back of a taxi, or an Uber, or a Lyft. You've tried them all. You use whatever's cheapest or fastest or available. You're too tired to care at this point. Your suitcase is in the trunk. Your flight bag is next to you on the seat. You're still in your uniform. You'll change when you get home. Right now you just want to sit. Just want to not do anything for a few minutes. The driver tries to make conversation. They always do. Long flight? Yeah, 14 hours. Wow, must be exhausting. It is. They take the hint. They stop talking. Thank God. You're grateful. You don't have the energy for small talk. You don't have the energy for anything except sitting here and watching the city go by. You watch the familiar streets, familiar buildings. You've seen this route so many times, from the airport to your house. The transition from work to home, from pilot to person. This drive is the in-between. It's 6 a.m., but your body has no idea what time it is. You left Singapore yesterday, or was it today? You crossed so many time zones that the concept of today and yesterday has lost all meaning. Your body is just confused, permanently confused. You check your phone. Messages from family. Welcome home. Can't wait to see you. With a heart emoji, you smile. Even tired, even exhausted, you smile. You're happy to be almost home, almost there. You think about what you'll do when you get there. Shower. Definitely shower. You feel gross after 14 hours in the same clothes. Then maybe eat something? You're not sure if you're hungry. Your body doesn't know that either. Maybe just sleep. Sleep sounds good. Sleep sounds amazing. The taxi gets closer to your neighborhood. You recognize it now. That store. That intersection. That park where you used to take your kids. Almost home. Almost done with the journey. You think about the flight. Did you do everything right? Was there anything you could have done better? You always do this. Always analyze your performance. Always looking to improve. It's automatic. You can't turn it off. The descent was smooth. The landing was good. Maybe a little firm, but good. Communication was clear. No mistakes. Nothing dangerous. Nothing wrong. It was fine. It was a good flight. But honestly, right now, you're too tired to think critically. Too tired to care. The flight is over. It was fine. Everyone's safe. That's what matters. That's all that matters. The taxi pulls up to your house. You pay. Tap your phone. The payment goes through. You grab your bags. You walk to the door. Your house. Home. Finally. After all the airports and hotels and airplanes and time zones and hours in the sky, you're home. Unpacking again. You drop your bags in the bedroom. They land with a thud. You should unpack immediately. You know you should. Get it done. Get it over with. But you're too tired. Way too tired. You pull out the dirty uniform. That goes straight to the laundry. Straight there. Don't even think about it. You pull out your toiletry kit. That goes in the bathroom. Back to its spot on the counter. You take out anything that needs to be washed or restocked. The rest can wait. It can all wait. But you know, you'll be packing again in a few days. So maybe you should just leave most things in the bag. Save yourself the work. Why unpack if you're just going to pack again? You've developed a system over the years. Some things live in your suitcase permanently. They just do. Chargers, adapters, a spare toothbrush, travel-sized toiletries. Things you always need and don't want to forget. They're just permanent residents of the suitcase now. Other things rotate. Clothes get washed and replaced. Snacks get restocked. Books get swapped out. Even though you never read them, you keep bringing them. Hope springs eternal. Your suitcase has become like a second home. Everything has its place. Everything has a purpose. It's organized in a way that makes sense to you and probably nobody else. But it works. It's your system. You look at it sitting there by the bed. Still mostly packed, waiting for the next trip. It's always waiting, always ready. Sometimes you think about just keeping it in the car. Would that be weird? It basically lives by the door anyway. You're always taking it somewhere or bringing it back. It's a constant cycle. Your family has learned not to move it. That's your stuff, your work stuff. It's sacred in its own way. Don't touch the pilot's bag. That's the rule. You finally force yourself to unpack properly. You hang up clothes. You empty pockets. You find receipts from restaurants in foreign cities: Frankfurt, Singapore, London, a boarding pass, some foreign coins that you forgot to exchange. They're worthless here, but you keep them anyway. Little artifacts from the trip, evidence that you were somewhere else, living a different life, doing a different thing, seeing different places. Now you're home, now you're here, and you have to transition back, from pilot to person, from traveler to family member, from professional to regular human being. It's a mental shift. Takes effort, takes time. The suitcase gets tucked into the closet. Empty now, clean, ready for next time, which is in 3 days. So you'll be doing this again soon. The cycle continues. It always continues. Pack, unpack, repack. It's just part of the routine, part of the life. Realizing home feels just temporary. You're home. You're sitting on your couch. Your couch, in your house, with your family. This is your real life. This is where you actually live. This is home. But it doesn't feel quite right. It feels temporary. Because you know you're leaving again in 3 days, 4 days. Whatever it is this time, you're always leaving again. So even when you're home, you're mentally preparing to leave. You're thinking about what you need to pack, what you need to prepare, what you need to do before you go. You're already halfway gone. You can't fully settle, you can't fully relax, you can't just be here without thinking about there. Because this is just a break, just a pause, just a moment between flights, between trips, between being somewhere else. Your family is talking to you, telling you about things that happened while you were gone. Your kid's soccer game, they scored a goal. A problem at work that your partner had to deal with. Plans for the weekend, if you're here, if you're not flying. Normal life stuff. The stuff that happens when you're not here. And you're listening. You're engaged. You care. You really do care, but there's this part of your brain that's already gone. Already thinking about the next trip. Already in pilot mode. Already preparing. Already leaving even though you just got here. You used to try to fight it, to force yourself to be fully present, to ignore the constant pull of the next flight, to be here now. But you've learned that's impossible. You can't turn it off. It's always there. So now you just accept it. You're home, but you're temporary. Like a guest in your own life. Like you're visiting instead of living. Sometimes your partner says something like, "It's nice to have you here." And it sounds wrong, sounds off, because you live here. This is your home. They shouldn't have to say it's nice to have you here. You should just be here, always here. That's what living somewhere means. But you're not really, not consistently. You drift in and out, present and then gone, here and then somewhere else, visible and then invisible, like a ghost in your own house. And after a while, and this is the sad part, after a while, home starts to feel like just another layover, just another temporary stop, comfortable, familiar, but not permanent, not solid, not anchored. You wonder if other people feel this way. People with normal jobs, people who go home every night, who sleep in their own bed consistently, who are there for dinner and breakfast and everything in between. Do they feel this groundedness that you're missing? This sense of actually living somewhere instead of just passing through? Or is everyone just faking it? Is everyone just temporary in their own way? Maybe you're just more aware of it because your job makes it literal, makes it obvious. You're physically leaving and coming back. The temporariness is real, not metaphorical. You don't know. You just know that being home feels different than it used to. Less like an anchor, more like a port between voyages, less like a destination, more like a stop along the way. You're life planning the next flight before sleeping. You should sleep. God, you should really sleep. You're exhausted. You've been awake for way too long. Your body is screaming for rest, begging for it. But you can't yet. Not yet. You have to check the schedule. See what's next. Prepare for the next trip. It's automatic. You can't help it. You open the app, the airline app with your schedule. There it is, London, 2 days from now. Report time 4 p.m. Overnight flight, 24-hour layover. Then back. Same routine. Different city. You screenshot it. You add it to your calendar. 3 different calendars, actually. Your phone, the shared family calendar, the paper calendar on the fridge that your partner insists on keeping. You set alarms. Multiple alarms. You make a mental note of what you need to do before you leave. Even though you should be sleeping, like desperately need to be sleeping, you're planning. You're preparing. You're thinking about the next flight. Because that's what pilots do. Always thinking ahead. Always preparing. Always ready. What's the weather supposed to be like in London? You check. Rainy. Of course it's rainy. It's London. Are there any NOTAMs you should know about? Any runway closures, construction, changes? You scan through them. Nothing major. Who's the crew? You check the roster. Names you don't recognize. New people. Or maybe you've flown with them before and just don't remember. It happens. Your brain is already shifting. Already moving from I'm home mode to I'm getting ready to fly mode. Even though you just got home. Even though you're supposed to be resting. Even though you're exhausted. This is what the job does to you. You're never fully off. Never fully rested. Never fully present. There's always the next flight. Always the next trip. Always something to prepare for. Always something to think about. Your partner pokes their head in. Are you coming to bed? Yeah. Just checking the schedule. I'll be there in a minute. But it's not a minute. It's 10 minutes. 15. You're reading about weather patterns. You're reviewing the route. It's a route you've flown 100 times, but you still review it. You're making sure you know what you're doing. Making sure you're ready. Making sure you won't forget anything. Finally, you close the app. You turn off the light. You lay down. Your body sinks into the mattress. Your own bed, your own pillow. It feels good. It feels so good. Better than any hotel bed. Better than the crew rest bunk on the plane. But your brain is still going. Still thinking about London. Still thinking about the flight. Still thinking about everything you need to do before you leave. The list runs through your head. Check passport. Check license. Check medical certificate. Pack. Prepare. Be ready. You try to quiet your mind. You try to just be here. Just be present. Just rest. You breathe. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. The meditation technique you learned but never really practice. Eventually, sleep comes. Not easily, not quickly, but it comes. And you drift off, already half dreaming about the next flight, about being back in the cockpit, about being back in the sky, because that's where your mind lives now, even when your body is home. Your life, wondering if the sky became your real address. Sometimes, late at night or early in the morning, you can't tell anymore. When you can't sleep, when your body and your mind are in different time zones, you think about your life. Really think about it. Where do you live? That's a simple question. Everyone has an answer, an address, a place they call home, a place that's theirs. You have an address. Obviously. A house with a number and a street name. A place where your mail goes. Where your family is. Where your bed is. Where your stuff is. That's your address. That's home. Right? But do you live there? Do you really? You spend more time in the air than in your house. That's not an exaggeration. If you actually calculated the hours, you're in the sky more than you're on the ground. More time in hotels than in your own bedroom. More time in cockpits than in your living room. More time at 38,000 feet than at sea level. If someone tracked your location over a year, just followed you around, what would they see? A pattern of movement. airports, cities, flight paths, a life lived in transit, a person who's always moving, always between places, always on the way somewhere. So where do you really live? What's your actual address? Maybe you live in the sky. Maybe that's your real address. Not any specific coordinates, not any city or country or building, just up there, between places, between destinations, between takeoffs and landings, in the space between. The sky is where you work, where you think, where you spend your time, where you're most yourself, in a weird way. When you're flying, you know exactly who you are, what your purpose is, what you're supposed to be doing. There's clarity up there that you don't have on the ground. On the ground, things are messier, less clear, more complicated. You're a partner, a parent, a child, a friend. You're all these different roles, and none of them fit quite right anymore. But in the sky, you're a pilot. That's it. Simple, clear. You fly. That's your job. That's who you are. Maybe the sky became your real address without you realizing it, without you choosing it. Maybe you're not a person who flies. Maybe you're a pilot who occasionally visits the ground, who touches down temporarily, who exists briefly at sea level before going back up. It's a strange thought. Kind of sad maybe, but also kind of beautiful. Because the sky is vast, unlimited, free. If that's where you live everywhere and nowhere at the same time. You're not tied down, not stuck, not trapped. You're always moving, always going somewhere, always between here and there. Maybe that's what you chose, even if you didn't know it at the time. Maybe this life suits you. Maybe the sky is where you're supposed to be. Maybe you're meant to be up there, not down here. Or maybe you're just tired and overthinking things in the middle of the night because jet lag has destroyed your sleep schedule again. Because your brain doesn't know what time zone it's in. Because you're exhausted but can't sleep. Maybe it's just that. You close your eyes. You'll figure it out tomorrow, or next week, or never. It doesn't matter. You have a flight in 2 days. You need to rest. You need to sleep. You need to be ready. For now, you're home, sort of. In the place where your body rests between flights, your temporary ground stop, your port between voyages into the sky, the place you come back to. Sometimes, your real address, maybe it's moving at 500 miles per hour, 7 miles up somewhere over the Atlantic, or the Pacific, or wherever, somewhere up there, in the sky, and somehow that feels exactly right.